Good morning, zookeepers, and welcome back to Planet Zoo. Today we're making an enclosure for Przewalski's horse, and I didn't have too much time to make this enclosure, so I did try and keep it as simple as I possibly could. I already had planned in my head that I wanted it to be somewhat like meadow-like. Near me there is some fields that people keep their horses on, and it's not just plain grass. There's like bushes everywhere, and there's actually little places where the horses can be pretty hidden if they just lie down. So I thought I'd like incorporate this into this build. I had a tiny bit of fun as well. I don't show me putting it together because I'm only using the pre-built buildings to do it, and I kind of make like a little seating area, like food court area, just on the side, and the path goes past the horse paddock to this sort of feeding area for the humans. I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah. Anyways, you see right now I'm making like a off-show area and like a shelter for them to sleep in, and I try and keep it nice and simple. I kind of want that sort of like very simple, stable kind of look, and I sort of like did toy around with it a little bit. No, not too much, but only added like some things here and there to try and make it look so it wasn't just plain wood everywhere. And I did use a little tip and trick I got taught not too long ago from one of my viewers, that if I just put footpath down underneath the floor, then when I put the bedding down, it won't lift the ground above the concrete. So yeah, I can't remember who that was, but thank you, that really did help. As you can see right now, I'm actually adding those features I was going on about, where I didn't want to just be plain wood, so I added a bit here and there just to sort of make it a little bit different, and did obviously a frame around the door because I didn't want the open gap all the way around it, but just so it's nice and simple and it kind of fits with the other wood. Anyways, I put the floor down, separate it, lift it up, and then I place down the path, bring the floor back down on it, and then place the bed in over the top, and ta-da, it didn't bring the ground above it. So yeah, thank you again for teaching me that. That's something I really didn't know, and it will help me with my future builds and made that look a little nicer without the floor dragging through, me having to cover it in rock to try and sort of blend it in, even though it doesn't really blend it in. But yeah, anyways, I just use a simple chain fence for this enclosure. I wasn't going to go too fancy, especially when I've been to a few like different zoos when there's been like sort of horse kind of species. It's just been that very simple chain link fence, and that's been enough to keep them in, and it just allow the customer to get like a really good view, and the horse to get a good view of everything that is around it. I made like this sort of sheltered like footpath area where they can view into the enclosure and be sheltered from the elements, and I had a few benches and bins in there just to make it a little bit different. I don't really do these sheltered like sort of like covers for pathways. Kind of makes sense really, because you know it rains, they need to be also covered as well, so it just gives them a bit of a break as it were. And I put the don't feed me signs there because I'm going to be doing a food court at the other end of this, and a few tellies around, move the horses out of the way so then I can sort of mess around the enclosure. I rough up the ground slightly, use a bit of dirt to like sort of make the paths, and then go around adding like the different enrichments, the different foods, things like this. And it was a really fun enclosure to make. Like I said, I didn't have too much time, and I still, like, without rushing it, I made it kind of nice, simple. It, like I said, it looks a bit like the horses field that's around the corner from me, and they look great when you'll see the end results. Anyways, it's just nice just watching them like move around it, sort of disappear and appear with the shrubbery. Also, I used the plants that they like themselves. I didn't go and add whatever this time. I just went through the list of things that they liked, so it worked out quite well really. So if this was like an enclosure that was in, I'm guessing, franchise modes or something like that, I'm pretty sure they'd be pretty happy with this enclosure. I won't be too mad about it, because a lot of time I start off using plants that they like, and then I'm like, well, I want that plant in there, I want that plant in there. That's a cool looking plant, and before you know it, there's more plants they don't like than they do like. But yeah, this is the long bit, really just placing all the different plants. I went over the grassy areas, just trying to fill it out so it looked a bit meadow-like. And I was like, do I add any rocks? And I was like, no, I don't want any rocks in this in the end. And then they just go around, dotting around enrichment, things like this. Just fun things that I can watch. And then I used the grassy bed. I place it around here and there, around the bushes, because I don't know if it's grass or leaves, but it kind of looks like they've just pushed down some of the shrubbery and decided that that's where they're going to lie down. So I've added a few of those knocking around in the meadow, so they actually do sleep out there. I added the little statues that come with the conservation packs. I thought they looked great, just slapping those on the roof. And then I was like, I want to add a bit more to this building. Not too much, but only on the guest side, so it looks kind of nice. And yeah, this is the end result. It didn't take me too long to make this, and I really enjoyed making it. Like, it looks really simple, it's low bearing, apart from until you get down to like eyesight, and then you got all these like shrubs, bushes sticking out, and it is kind of cool just sort of like watching them like disappear into the hedges and reappearing out the other side. I didn't put too much in, so it didn't look like a complete well, mess really, so it wasn't too overgrown and wild, and looks like it's like sort of looked after. I think one of my favourite plants in there is the buddleia. Like, the only thing I'd say about it, I wish there was bigger versions, because like that buddleia, like, it looks really nice, but it's really small compared to mine in the back garden, which is like this humongous bush, almost like it's taller than my fence. So it's like nearly, what, it's fence 6 foot, so that buddleia is something like 7-8 foot. So yeah, it looks pretty small, but it looks great. And I added a few just knocking around with all the other flowers. And yeah, for a while, I say a while, it's probably just about 10 minutes. I was just sat there watching them do the things, trying to get these sort of like little shots. They didn't use too much in the enrichment, and when they did use the enrichment, it was over before I even managed to catch it, because I'd recorded something else. Like, I managed to just quickly nip over and get them grooming, because you can see it was right at the end. And but yeah, and again, this is where I missed it using another bit of enrichment, and it was itching itself. I had really bad timing and luck trying to record this, especially with the little time that I had. But other than that, I really enjoyed this. Like, I don't know if you guys make your horse enclosures like this. It would be cool to see other people's like enclosures. Like, if you want to put in the comments, like, 'cause I do put this in a few Facebook groups, or if you want to send me them on the Instagram or anything like that. I always love that little bit of inspiration, seeing everyone's enclosures. But yeah, thank you for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.